Our story begins in the summer of 2006. Our daughter was following in the footsteps of our oldest son, Kaitlin Seidel, and going to Frontier Ranch in Colorado, which is a Young Life camp. And she's just so excited to go. She's just bouncing around, being a normal 16-year-old, just got her driver's license, being a kid. And they're there for a week, and she returned on Sunday, and we met her at the bus. She came off that bus, she was just glowing, radiant, so happy. And she came back, she was just a different person. And what had happened was she had committed her life to Christ. We did not know that at the time, but on, I guess it was 3 weeks later, July 30th, Sunday night, our daughter passed away. Unknown to any of us, she had a heart problem and her heart just stopped instantly. It's the absolute worst nightmare for a parent. It's darker than the darkest dark you can imagine. To be able to breathe your next breath is an accomplishment. To get out of bed, to just move. It just takes weeks or months to get to those steps, and those are accomplishments. In the spring of '06, April 3rd would have been her 17th birthday. The Young Life people came to us and invited us to spend a week at Frontier Ranch to walk in Kaitlin's footsteps. Sunday through Thursday, there's a challenge, there's messages, but there's more physical challenges. But it leads up to Sunday, where you climb this 14,000-foot mountain. And you start your journey early in the morning, and you're back and forth across this mountain. And we got about a third the way, and I get to a point where there's this area where I can see the tree line of the mountain, but the peak is so much farther. And I am so tired, but I want to go where my daughter went, to the top of this mountain. And I just tell myself, I cannot go any farther. So my wife finally catches up to where I am, and she says, let's go, let's go. I said, I can't, I'm done. She said, Kaitlin made it to the top, you got to make it to the top. I said, I can't. She says, well, I've got to go on. So she went on with the 400 kids and went on. I went off into the trees to be by myself, and I am so sad and depressed. And while I'm sitting there trying to collect my thoughts, a ways away from me is a group of people, a camper, 2 leaders and 2 adults, and they're talking, and we're in the wilderness of Colorado. We're so far from civilization. I could hear every word they were saying. And this lady's talking, and she says 4 years ago, she lost her 16-year-old son to cancer. I said, oh my gosh. So I get up from where I am, I go over and introduce myself. I said, we just lost our 16-year-old daughter. We hugged, we embraced, we bonded instantly. We started sharing stories as to how we cope with the loss of our kids. She says, well, what she does on her son's birthday is release a balloon up in the air. I said, that's amazing. Just this last spring on April 3rd, would have been Kaitlin's 17th birthday, her entire softball team at the Pierce High School where she attends, to remember her birthday, everybody had a balloon. They released the balloon up in the air. It was such a magical moment. It was just powerful. I no more than finished saying this sentence. We look up through the tops of the trees. A balloon is drifting by. This balloon descends down. Gail runs and grabs it by the ribbon, runs back to me going, Robbie, look. And it's a purple balloon, the identical color of this bracelet that we use to remember Kaitlin by, and the balloon said, happy birthday. God was there. Kaitlin was there telling me she's okay. It was the most powerful, to this day, I don't know how to explain the power of that moment. A very, very dear friend of mine, Brian Summerall, has come into my life now, and he is with us at Frontier Ranch, and I had some issues with God. I was angry. I didn't understand. Part of it was suicide. If heaven is so great, I'd just soon go on and be there and be with my daughter. And Brian and I sat in those chairs for 45 minutes and talked, and I opened my heart to him, and he put things in a perspective that God had plans for me. He's not done with me yet. He told me that if I commit my life to Christ, that my life will be complete. And I sat there in those chairs and did that. It was the most scary, exciting moment of my life. I was 55 years old. You're never too old to commit to Christ. I think our daughter is extremely proud the way we've carried on and lived our lives forward to build on the positives and carry on in a mission to minister to help other people that have suffered this incredible loss of a child. We've built on the loss of our daughter to make something good come of that. Her name lives on, and the ripple effect of change, hopefully someone will hug their child tonight, do something with their child tomorrow that they wouldn't have done until they heard this story. That's what I hope and pray for, that there'll be some minute change, a ripple in the water. And how far that goes, I don't know. But as far as it wants to go, that's fine with me.